conditions there.
Lisa Meadows spoke with stranded drivers and the team of experts who helped them overnight in Owatonna. Jeff Wagner's in northern Minnesota, where people have found themselves stuck on frozen lakes. But our team coverage begins with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer. So, Chris, this break in the snow and wind is pretty welcome.
Yeah, it really is. A little perspective for you. Typically, we see just under 8 inches of snow in February. We've now seen over 4 times that amount in this month alone, over 3 feet of snow. And of course, it was southeastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin that got blasted over the weekend with the impressive snow totals. A little light snow is falling across southern Minnesota today, even for folks down in southeastern Minnesota who I'm sure were saying enough. Fortunately, this was very light. We're catching a break, but you know this story by now. It's only a break. More snow is in the forecast as soon as tomorrow. And we have a few more chances later in the week. I'll give you all the details on the snow coming up.
My goodness.
All right. Thank you.
Well, right now, the Minnesota National Guard is deployed to rescue people stranded on roads in southern Minnesota.
Along with local first responders, the Guard has rescued more than 600 travelers. Lisa Meadows is at the Owatonna Rescue Shelter.
Lisa, you know things are bad when you actually have to call in the National Guard for help.
I know, right, Frank and Amelia? I actually talked to them earlier today. It turns out that this is only the 3rd time in the past 10 years that they had to go out and do a rescue situation like this. But I'll tell you what, driving down I-35, making our way here, from what I saw, I can believe it.
National Guard came by, picked us up.
Over 600 people had to be rescued across southern Minnesota from stranded cars this weekend. Some stuck in 7-foot snow drifts.
Passed a family in a car, stopped to help them get out, and then realized that we weren't going anywhere else.
Stuck in the snow and no way to get out, 911 calls started coming in from stranded drivers in desperate need of help.
As soon as my soldiers hit the ground, I'm glad they were prepared. They hit the ground, they got the SUSV up and operational. And so as soon as I got that up, they started doing recovery operations.
This small unit support vehicle was used by the National Guard from Saturday night all the way until 3 o'clock this morning doing rescue operations. The Minnesota National Guard made over 160 rescues, taking them back to a pop-up shelter at the Owatonna Armory.
We had over 200 people here yesterday. That we had about 187 sleep overnight.
Local volunteers came to streamline the take-in process and provide free meals, while toys and coloring books were passed out for kids, working with the National Guard to make everyone feel as comfortable as possible.
I slept in the floor along with my soldiers for the 2 hours that we got down, but our cots were used up. We gave the cots up, and so we slept on the floor.
I'll tell you what, guys, it is just packed down here in the shelter. Local restaurants, gas stations, parking lots, just tons of people. If they're not inside, they're in their cars keeping warm, because the other side of things, now we're dealing with the cold. It's 1 degree here with a wind chill of 14 below. So we are still dealing with the cold temperatures. Even when the wind tapers off, when it comes to digging out any of those cars, going to have to deal with the cold.
Yeah, well, our sympathies to everybody down there, and thank goodness for the National Guard. Thank you, Lisa.